while I attempt to find something more useful than multiple Grave Titans. Or until my Grave Titans become critically useful. Summoning Trap and Ulamog. That's the hand for the Swede.
Cast Summoning Trap.
Cast Summoning Trap. Sure. So, what's he going to find out of these 7? A couple of Jiraga Tree Speakers, another Summoning Trap there. And anything else of use?
It's like an overgrown battlement.
Ooh. It's probably not quite as exciting as he might have liked. But then we know that the memory sides have taken Primeval Titan out of the mix.
It's actually a fairly much less likely to hit than normal.
A lot less likely, because although he has the battlements and the tree speakers, you're looking at 1 Wormcoil Engine, 1 Avenger of Zendikar, 1 Terastodon. He has one of his 2 Alamogs in hand. Then there's 1 Emrakul.
He may have actually been looking for a mana accelerant there.
Yeah, sure. But certainly the conventional hit, finding the giant guy, much less likely.
Right, because now he has the 9 mana he needs to cast Ulamog. Minus the 2 from...
With discount.
The discount from Ayavugan. Yes, exactly. A Spreading Seas would be pretty nifty here right now from Guillaume.
Well, his Jace the Mind Sculptor is under no pressure, so an ability to dig with the Brainstorm ability is obviously there. His Doomblade, Grave Titan. You just see the Grave Titan peeking out on the right of your screen. Both players deep in thought. They're underway on the front table, by the way, just to keep you in touch with Paolo against Matignon. Early in that one, Paolo's getting rid of an Inquisition of Kozilek with his own, as Matignon says, enough of this phony war. If you're going to get to the mana you need, I'm just going to run out my Grave Titan. There's 10 power of guys. Over to you. Yansa. Plant Overgrown Battlement.
Go.
Replayed. With Jace the Mind Sculptor going down to 2 to send the Overgrown Battlement away. So maybe Guillaume's plan here is just to attack into those irritating little plants. And just try desperately to keep the Swede off the mana. Has another Grave Titan in hand. See the French flag there. They didn't do badly in the team competition. France sort of started out pretty badly, but ended up largely on the back of Guillaume Matignon, of course, with his 41 points. But they finished 6th and were within the hunt. And ultimately, the 30 points of Julien Perez and the 22 points from Antoine Ruel that propelled France to 6th could yet contribute to Guillaume Matignon being Player of the Year.
Absolutely. We're going to see another... Nope, he doesn't choose to bounce this time. He brainstorms. Sees a Spreading Seas.
Sees a Spreading Seas, indeed. You're doing pretty well on the tongue twisters today, I got to say. So Ayavugan may no longer be giving discount. Would be the theory, would it?
Or you could get the Eldrazi Temple.
Mm-hmm.
You give him back a mana. The Ayavugan doesn't actually tap for mana.
Yeah, that's true.
You take away 2 mana on the Temple, but he's going to get the Ivugan because the inevitability of that card is...
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Waffletapper draws a card. It's another backup Planeswalker.
He's going to Doomblade the Overgrown Battlement.
Which is another reason why he was able to brainstorm that turn. He's really good. Since we've been looking at this, he's been under pressure with a ton of mana on the other side, but it continues to be not quite enough for what the Swede wants to do with it. I'm going to take 4, he says, chump blocking the Grave Titan. And now Waffletapper will complete his turn with a Ratchet Bomb. And of course the benefit there is that he'd be able to at some point blow something up. He could get rid of a plant, but tediously he'd get rid of quite a lot of his own stuff as well. So
Yep.
I don't think it'll be staying at naught. And Janssen doing the math. It looks like he's doing the whole swivel the arm. 9, 10, 11.
Alamog destroying the Titan.
Alamog the Infinite Guy destroying the Titan. That's pretty good. It's indestructible. It has Annihilator 4. So what do you do if you're Waffletapper? Do you just you bounce it and attack for 6 with a 1 block, and that puts Janssen to 10? Has he got a Creeping Tar Pit that would change the math?
I think he's going to bounce it.
I think that's, yeah, that has to be the play. Smash.
Block
Take
one of
6.
them.
Yep.
Take 6.
Yes,
not
you do.
10.
Yes, you are. Another Grave Titan from Waffletapper. Poof. Oh, now that was a response from Janssen. No stonewalling. An emotional response to that one. It was like puffed out cheeks, like the punch to the solar plexus. Wow.
Yep.
And he scoops up his permanence. Wow, Guillaume Waffletapper really played. I think there were probably multiple opportunities to lose that game from the control deck.
Oh, of course.
You know, and Waffletapper just navigated his way through one. I'll brainstorm this turn. That's okay because I've got a Doomblade. Then I'll bounce your guy, and then I'll bounce again. Now I've got another Doomblade. Just he's so tough to beat. So tough to beat. Let's head back to the other one. So we're going to take you back to Palavida Dama de Rosa up against Guillaume Matignon. They are fairly well advanced in their next game. Palavida Dama de Rosa has a Mystifying Maze in play amongst his lands, a Tectonic Edge, Seagate Oracle, the only creature in play right now, while Guillaume Matignon has a collection of largely basic land. He's got a Creeping Tar Pit down on the left of his lands as he attempts Jace Beleren. Which Paolo is going to think about, has a ton of cards in hand. There you see the board right now. As a mana leak, it looks like, is that a 4 Jace in Paolo's hand? I have a feeling he has 4 Jace, maybe even 4 Jace the Mind Sculptor in hand. In any case, this Jace looks like it may be about to be met with a mana leak. It is indeed. Will Matignon feel the urge to debate the point? Well, looks like he's
going to pay for the mana leak.
Yep, he's going to pay. And at that point, Paolo says, sure, okay.
Still on the stack.
Okay, he's sacrificing land, go and get an island, and we know he has another mana leak in hand. So that's what we're about to see, one presumes. There it is. And mana leak back the other way, which taps Matignon out. So he gets his Jace.
Is there a Mindbreak Trap in hand?
I have not seen Guillaume's hand yet. That would be saucy. Paolo is indeed looking at several copies of Jace the Mind Sculptor in hand. Remember, he leads by 1-0. Seagate Oracle attacks. Matignon and Paolo will just lay a land. Jace Beleren then for Matignon up against Seagate Oracle, which put Jace down a peg. So Matignon remains at 14. We see a Grave Titan in hand for Matignon. Guillaume Matignon already guaranteed level 8 this year, and talking of 6, 8, 10, Grave Titan would be 10 power of guys, but Mindbreak Trap from Paolo says no.
Guillaume had not cast enough spells last turn for that to matter, but he can just pay 4 here.
And there's a cancel back the other way. And Paolo says, yes, your Grave Titan resolves. 10 power of guys. At the end of this game, Bruce, let's do the top Japanese and the top teams.
Titan on Titan action.
Clash of the Titans here at the top of World 2010. So Tectonic Edge takes out Creeping Tar Pit. Matignon then says, here's Spreading Seas for your swamp.
Is he looking for Jace? Or does he have Jace?
He has a Jace. And bounce the Grave Titan.
We're seeing all these creatures getting bounced that you normally don't want to bounce.
Yes, but that's because there are only creatures left that don't normally get bounced. That's all there are. So there's going to be blockings aplenty. An actual like combat red zone step. It only happened for a couple of seconds. If you blinked, you have missed it. That was combat done for the top 8.
Duress, you see a lot of Jaces.
Yep, 3
A Grave
Jace the
Titan.
Mind Sculptor. Of course, the Grave Titan and a Spreading Seas. So Matignon has a think about that. And says we'll get rid of Spreading Seas. And Matignon has the edge currently. 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. And Matignon knows exactly what this is. It's a pair of Jace the Mind Sculptors in the respective graveyards.
Yep.
Land from Paolo. So that's what he saw. Back we go to Matignon. Guillaume Waffletapper and Lova Jansa tied at 1-1. Here we have more blocking. The 1-3 just bounces off a 2-2. Creeping Tar Pit has been activated by Matignon. That gets him 2 more. Yeah. The thing is, Paolo really doesn't want to lose his Tectonic Edge, presumably, just in terms of mana and getting back to his own Grave Titan. I mean, he's in a bit of a bind here.
Certainly, that's one of the motivations for Matignon, besides damage to attack.
It's like, do you want to set yourself back another land? He knows he doesn't have any floating about.
Did
So
Matignon just show him another Jace?
Paolo really thinking about this. He does go the Tectonic Edge route. Token dies. Seagate Oracle bounces off. But that board position from every angle is looking very French.
And there's another Jace the Mind Sculptor.
There is another Jace the Mind Sculptor. We know that Paolo has an answer to that, but
Yeah, it's not much of an answer in terms of it's just like tapping out. He's going to
no, but he doesn't have an answer to many, many Titan plus friends. Paolo at 9.
drawn the land. He plays his Grave Titan again. We're going to see Grave Titan get bounced for the second time.
Mm-hmm.
The growing army of zombies.
We are not far away from 2-0.
And again, we saw Paulo down 2-1 in the quarterfinals.
Indeed we did.
Bounces the Grave Titan.
Sir Mash, good game. Guillaume Matignon leads by 2-0 over Palavita Dama de Rosa. Brad Nelson is feeling a bit happier. Mrs. Matignon, back at home watching her boy, is probably feeling quite happy as well. If Matignon wins this,
Then Brad Nelson cannot
Lose.
Player of the Year this weekend.
that is correct. No, we'll let them play on, and because we're going to stay with this one.
We're gonna stay here and watch this game 3 for sure.
If we can have the top teams. So we've had a look at the top Europeans. We've had a look at the top Americans. Let's bring you a slightly less exciting story, which is the top 10 Japanese players at this event. It's been an interesting year for the Japanese in many, many ways. And there you see, no one in the top 8, only one in the top 16. That, by the way, Yuta Takahashi, we know him as King of the Fairies, the man who plays fairies in multiple formats. Part of the reason for him doing so well is fairies came round again in Extended,
absolutely.
and he was able to do that. Shuhei Nakamura locks up level 8 by finishing 18th.
He is the only Japanese level 8 this season.
Yes, I've been silent there deliberately just to digest that. I mean, that is seismic.
It
as a
is
shift.
seismic, and it's seismic for Shuhei also, who is, I think, foolishly concerned about whether or not he's going to make the Hall of Fame next year. Right? He feels like he needs another top 8
Truly?
to be certain.
Truly?
Truly, he's worried. And so he really wants to do well early next year. He wants to have a network of players, and he is not going to have the same traveling companions that he's had for the past couple of years.
Indeed. Well, Kenji, of course, is gone. We've got Yuya Watanabe and also Kazuya Mitamura. They're two of the big names who one would hope we would still see on the European circuit, because one thing we do notice, there's a sort of tremendous friendliness between the European pros and the Japanese pros, because we see the Japanese travel to all the European GPs by and large. So over the last 4 years, I've seen far more, for example, of Shuhei Nakamura than any of the North American players, by and large.
Right.
And it's great to see them around the world. On we go. Ryo Tasaki, don't know much about him.
We don't recognize a lot of these names until we get down to Masashi Oiso.
Yeah, Masai Kiriyama has the top 8 along the way, but as you say, it's very much an inexperienced group. Masashi Oiso, we saw, now he actually played Brad Nelson in round 10, both at 4 and 5, which was utterly savage. So there's your top 10 Japanese players. As we go into the game, let's
We're
get
underway here. These
back
guys shuffle
to
and
the action.
keep very quickly. We're already 2 lands to the good for Paulo.
So let's head back to the action. There you are with Paulo against Matignon. 2-0 to the Frenchman.
You could see Pro Tour winner Tomohiro Kaji in the background there doing coverage.
Yeah, we've had a fantastic Japanese coverage presence. It's been sort of English coverage along one wall, sort of 8 guys just churning stuff out 24 hours a day, and then pretty much the same for the Japanese audience. So. And of course, we have simultaneous Japanese coverage of the webcast going out right now. So, we can say, Japan, you're rubbish at magic, and no one will know because they're all listening in their own language.
So Shuhei Nakamura is actually part of the webcast team for Japan.
Oh, really?
Yes, he's working with Koichiro Maki.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
A new career beckons, perhaps. I tell you what, I think maybe a move to California beckons. Inquisition of Kozilek from Guillaume Matignon. Paulo will crack a land.
Take a mana leak.
In the background, you see Guillaume Waffletapper, the 2 Guillaumes in shot there.
If you were paying attention in 2005, when Pierre Canali won Pro Tour Columbus, he credited two Guillaumes with building the deck that he used to win that event.
Who were they?
Those were Guillaume Matignon and Guillaume Waffletapper, long before we'd heard of either of them on a professional scene.
Indeed. Indeed, that was the first indicator that Waffletapper was going to be a great deck builder, because obviously he's sort of slightly fallen off the radar in that department. But you go to Dralnu de Louvre, for example, from Worlds 2006, and obviously his winning teachings list from Yokohama 2007. They're spreading seas from Paolo.
On Tectonic Edge.
And it sounds like Guillaume Waffletapper has run the memory side route once again against Loviansa. It sounds like Assorted Primeval Titans will no longer be participating in that game.